This is Leonora from Embodied Truth. And today I want to share a little bit, because it's a very vast topic, about hypervigilance and a lack of awareness and the link between the two. So, you know, hypervigilance is a kind of state that is very traumatized and very reactive, and it's like seeing danger everywhere that it looks. And as a result, people that are hypervigilant can have what might be considered a lot of noise in their field of awareness, a lot of noise in their system. And it's a little bit like, or it can feel a little bit like, you know, if you tune to a radio station and you can't actually get coherent to the station, but instead of being coherent to the station, you're getting that sort of shh kind of noise and you can't really tune in. And this is where the relationship with the lack of awareness comes in. So many people are not aware even of the noise, and you can often find that noise if you have a hypervigilant state as a general state. You can find that noise by feeling the felt sense of the head. That might sound really weird to somebody who's listening to me and thinking, what is she talking about? But what I'm inviting here is an entry into the field of awareness, which is a kind of a holograph. So rather than being identified as the thinker and hypervigilant as the thinker, the invitation is to feel the felt sense of the thinker, and the thinker lives in the head. And you can then actually feel what that noise feels like. And it might feel headachy, it might just feel toxic, it might feel, you know, any number of things. But it is an important piece, is to move away from what is unconscious to you, which is the hypervigilant awareness, to bringing that hypervigilance into consciousness. So there's many levels and layers of journeying that are required to unpick that state, but this is a big piece and a very important piece. And what's really important to realize is when you're not able to tune to your frequency, your radio station, your true self, that you actually have a lot of mental chatter, you have a lot of distraction, you have a lot of agenda, a lot of control issues, you know, a lot of stuff that's coming up because, you know, your system is kind of wired to avoid danger, and yet it's perceiving danger everywhere, whether that's conscious or unconscious. So what this means is that as a result, you know, it's kind of in one way you're hyper aware, but in another way, there's a lack of awareness, because the lack of awareness is the inability to discern what really is dangerous. Is that, you know, is there really a threat present? Or am I, you know, just in a hypervigilant state? Now, one thing that's really important for people that are in a hypervigilant state is that it's very likely, you know, that the chemistry of the body is also keeping us there. So we may have adrenaline running, or we may have cortisol, you know, running, too many high sugars. We may have kind of panic and over breathing qualities. And we also may not notice any of that because we're so used to being in that state. So the hypervigilance becomes like a screen or a filter that we experience our world through. And as a result, there's a lot of kind of needing to control and manage and maintain safety as a process that the hypervigilant part of us is engaged in, which is potentially also unconscious. The task here is to feel the feelings that are being avoided, and there's definitely an overwhelm in the system, the whole body-mind system, which you can access in the field of awareness. It is only through, you know, noticing how we're filtering the world and how we're reacting to the world that we can come to start having an awareness that is aware of what is going on rather than what it thinks is going on. Like I say, you know, this is often the tip of the iceberg, and all of our work and all of our processes are a cyclical, you know, journey of discovery towards finding our true self. And on the way of dealing with that, we can also invoke certain resources which can really enable our nervous system to find balance and equilibrium. One of the keys of those resources is stillness, and stillness is a kind of a doorway towards balancing the nervous system. So when the nervous system is hypervigilant and there's a lot of noise, then the quest becomes to notice what's in between the noise, or what's not noise, is to notice the polar opposite. And stillness is sort of a foundation and a fundamental way of journeying to find a homeostasis and a balance and to create a new order within the system. So there's much more to this, and but it's come up for many people in my field, and I just felt to share that. So even though you're hyper aware, there's also a blind spot, and the noise in the system is preventing your awareness of what's really going on. Okay, thanks for listening. I hope you found this valuable. Please feel free to share, comment, and subscribe to my channel if this content is right for you. Bye for now.